Alrighty, one last run draft analysis. Keep it nice and quick. For context, we got 90 points, 8 people in the draft pool, third pick for us. And I wanted to try Terra Torrent. Took 20 of our points, but I think it was a worthwhile investment. And we're starting off with probably the best Terra captain for this final send off for the generation. And what can't Terra Torrent do, right? It's a very potent setup sweeper, very good choiced offensive Pokemon, and a really, really solid AV pivot, which is what really sold me on the Mon. I'm super excited to get a chance to use this thing, and we'll see what else I can pair with it. I thought about Ting Lu Pecharunt, that's a very tried and true core on Showdown, but it got sniped, so we got to go a very different route. But I'm super excited to show you all what we pick next. And up next, we got a Pokemon that doesn't typically fall down to Terra Torrent's range because it is an option that is super usually picked pretty high near the back wheel because it does give teams very good speed, and that is Roaring Moon. And I'm super excited to get a chance to pair Roaring Moon with Torrent. Two knockoff Pokemon I think is really nice, and I really want to round out this core with some good hazards. And other than that, just a very solid offensive Mon. And usually I feel like can go well with like a choice set. Especially Scarf will be nice to keep my Torn T available to not have to be choice locked. And this thing, I'll feel less bad about using it. Also a good booster energy sweeper Pokemon. Good overall utility in the Roaring Moon slot, more than you would think, while still just being a very potent Pokemon. And also forcing a lot of Terra Fairies, which I'm going to look to capitalize on with my next pick. And Metagross is said Fairy Punish. In addition to being a super strong physical steel type, it also has access to the ever potent knockoff, a third user, and is our first hazard user with Stealth Rocks, as well as having strong priority in Bullet Punch to further help revenge Terra Fairy Pokemon and other such fairy types. And in addition to that, it has Stab Psychic Fangs, which in a screens dominant meta is always nice to have, and very solid coverage otherwise. I'm very much looking forward to picking Metagross here. It is between that or Jirachi, but I valued the additional power as well as the additional budget that came with picking Metagross. And we're not done with our hazards just yet. We pick up one of the premier hazard options in Gliscor, being both a rocker and a spiker, and with that poison heal ability, a very good status absorber for us as well as a ground immunity, electric immunity, very important roles to fill. Can grab pretty good momentum with U-turn, and be an overall very annoying Pokemon, and is one of the more potent setup sweepers in the metagame. You wouldn't necessarily think about it that way until you try to use it, but I've been looking forward to using Gliscor for a long time. I wish I could have had a Terra Gliscor, but I'll settle for Terra Torrent, and this Pokemon can help preserve the flying typing when Torrent Terra is out of it, and flying's not a bad double type to have at all, so super excited to add Gliscor to the team and do a little bit of stalling. And up next, we got the life of the party, the best steamroll sweeper himself, Quackleval, also here to be the team's primary rapid spinner, only rapid spinner. And it was a pretty expensive pick, which means that our last three Pokemon are going to have to be condensing budget down, but that's fine. I really like the snowball potential here. I liked being able to get a water type. Not the bulkiest, but can certainly be bulky when it needs to be. And then just the stab combination is nice, especially with triple axle as well for grass types or brave bird or anything like that. But yeah, I don't really know what more to say about Quack. It's a Pokemon that I've wanted to use for a long time. I feel like a theme of this team between the Moon, the Torn, the Gliscor, the Quack. All Pokemon that I've really been searching to use, so super happy this was able to work out. And up next, we got Baby Rotom. I wanted a spin blocker to go with my Gliscor. Another ground immunity wouldn't hurt. And pretty nice into Great Tusk and Iron Treads, which are some Pokemon that can be annoying with that ground plus ice coverage scheme. And yeah, overall, Rotom here, I feel like it's a Pokemon that's really appreciated in value. But on the Wi-Fi side of things, the price didn't go up too high, and we sniped Davion one pick before, which feels pretty cool. And for a budget pick, I'm super happy with the Rotom here. Also provides a second fighting resist slash immunity once Torn Terras, which we feel pretty good into those, and our next pick further locks that down. But yeah, this feels pretty good so far. From Pokemon that I've been looking forward to using, and now here's one that I really am not as excited for in the Pheasantipity, but this team is actually a pretty fitting Pheasantipity team. Acts are grounded poison here, another fighting resist in between the Rotom, the Gliscor, and the Fez. Fighting types are going to struggle because they want knockoff for the Rotom, they want Ice Punch for the Gliscor, they want Earthquake for the Fez, they want their fighting coverage, but then they are generally pretty pressured in terms of what they can run. So, like, tough to set up or tough to run their secondary stab type, and very easy to pivot around for me. Very solid pivot here, and a good Spadef wall. A lot of our walling power between Metagross, Gliscor tend to be physical walls. Rotom also tends to beat out Pokemon that usually run physical sets. So having this special wall here, especially for fairy types, considering Pokemon like Enamorus Incarnate, although I think only one or two got drafted out of four. Um, but like an Amherst-Therian, other such fairy types, Iron Valiant is pretty good for. Not the best, but okay. And then also good for Meowscarada, which is a very, very challenging Pokemon for us. So that is the thought process behind this one. And then we only got one more pick with one more point. Let's make it count. Alrighty, and now here to round out the draft, we got Blossom. Pretend to be an Ogerpon Wellspring check. That's the gist of it. 1 point, it's pretty decent stats relative to everything else in the 1 point tier. Unfortunately, it costs more to Terra, so we can't do that. But yeah, Quiver Dance, although I doubt that'll ever get used. Toxic, because it came from an Oddish, which is pretty cool. And other than that, I don't really know what to say about Blossom. I had it in BBR, but dropped it before I played Ogerpon Wellspring on the championship team, so it got like zero real credit for that team. But yeah, figured we can give it one last ride. And if you enjoyed my draft, if you liked hearing my thought process behind every pick, kind of one at a time as opposed to the more overarching structures, I tried a new thing here. Let me know what you all think, and I'll bring you guys the battles soon as I play them. See y'all. Peace.